Did the thought that I'm short make you think for a while? I don't believe I ever really thought about it. You might be able to make up for it with your personality, you know. People still look up to you, even though you're not very tall. Danny DeVito is only 5 feet 2 meters tall, but he is very famous all over Hollywood, and this saying says it all, from his funny part in Taxi. Danny DeVito has wowed and shocked audiences all over the world with his role as the scary penguin in Batman Returns. But despite his career's glittering success, his life is anything but easy. His story is about a lot more than just the bright lights on screen. He had a hard childhood and fights with how he looks, and he is now married and having problems in his personal life. What did Danny DeVito go through to stay strong in Hollywood, which is a very harsh place? How did he turn things that seemed like flaws into his biggest strengths? His life story has the answers. It is a hard and thought-provoking path. Childhood Danny DeVito is very strong on the inside. To understand this, we need to go back to when he was a young boy living in Neptune Township, New Jersey. Born on November 17, 1944, into an Italian-Albanian family. He was the 5th child and youngest of 5 children. His dad, Daniel DeVito Sr., ran a small business, and his mom, Julia Michaelo DeVito, took care of the house all the time. Danny grew up with 2 older sisters. He experienced both the love of family and the difficulties of living in a tough area. Danny's house was in a certain place. In the 1950s, Asbury Park, where he spent his formative years, became a more and more dangerous place for drug use and crime. These threats from outside were not the only thing going on. Danny had to deal with another big problem in his family, his alcoholic father. Danny once said that his father was nice and hard-working during the day, but when he got drunk, he lost all control. It started to happen all the time. Danny often felt powerless and scared because he was the youngest. These memories burned a hole in his soul and made him want to leave the stuffy place even more. That wasn't the only problem Danny had to solve, though. He knew he was different from a very young age. Multiple epiphyseal dysplasia, which is also called Fairbanks disease, was found in the person, a rare genetic disease that stops bones from growing. Daniel only grew to be 1.52 meters tall as an adult. This difference not only made things hard for him physically, but it also made people unfair to him, especially in personal relationships. As a teen, Danny quickly learned how to make up for his short height. When he went to school dances, he usually chose fast-pacing songs that let his dancing skills shine, not doing slow dances with people who are taller because it's awkward. He used his quick wit and sense of humor to stand out and get people's attention, even though it could have been a drawback. Danielle once said, "Back then, school dances were the center of life, and all you wanted was to get the girls' attention. My attitude would do if I couldn't do it with my looks. I knew that right away." He didn't think twice about meeting taller women. In fact, he used the difference in height as a fun and charming part of his relationships. This self-assurance not only helped Danny deal with being teased, but it also helped him develop the positive attitude that would guide his whole life. Danny made a big choice when he was 14 years old, something not many kids his age would even think about. His parents agreed to send him to a Catholic private school because of him and the dangerous place where he grew up. This decision was both a way for Danny to protect himself and a key step toward becoming more independent. In Summit, New Jersey, Danny went to Oratory Preparatory School and finished in 1962. While he was there, he learned more than just how to be tough. He seemed to find some peace. It was hard for him to feel alone in this new place, though. Danny said, "You can't just connect with people based on how you look. This helps you talk to people and make them laugh and feel at ease." Dan learned how to use charm and fun to build relationships through the problems he had to deal with because he was tall. He talked to his family's women a lot, especially his 2 older sisters. They taught him a lot about how to talk to people and value women. Danny later admitted that his early interactions with women helped him feel confident and at ease in social settings, even when his looks didn't help him. Danny went back home after high school and started working at his sister's beauty shop. At first glance, the job didn't seem to have anything to do with Danny's future work as an actor, but it was there that he learned how to deal with people, which is a skill he will always have. Bloomington, the interview room in the resort's lounge. Even though he was still self-conscious about how he looked, his sense of humor and sincerity helped him make real relationships with people. When Danny was looking for ways to improve his beauty skills, he met a makeup artist who suggested he try performing on stage. Danny became passionate about something he hadn't thought about before that piece of advice. Because his family told him to, he chose to go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York, which started a new part of his life and work. Danny DeVito quit his job at a beauty shop and decided to become an actor. He then went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts to improve his basic skills and learn about the professional world of the performing arts. He began his journey to make a name for himself in the show business after graduating in 1966. But the road ahead wasn't going to be easy for him or many other young artists. Danny's early work was full of problems. He played small parts in local theaters where there were only a few people in the audience, and he was never the only one in the center. But for Danny, these were great chances to get better at what he did. He put on shows at the Colonnades Theater Lab and the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center, places that are known for their unique and creative ways. Not only did these things help him learn more about acting, they also taught him how to show feelings in a real and honest way. During this time, Danny met Rhea Perlman, who would later become his wife and a key partner in his business. It didn't take long for them to connect, both emotionally and artistically. They worked on plays together that were put on by the Westbeth Playwrights Feminist Collection. Even though these shows weren't on big stages, they gave Danny a chance to show off his creativity and build his own acting style. It was here that he learned how to captivate people, even in small parts. When Danny got a small part in the 1975 movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, it was a big break in his career. Danny made the character come to life with his powerful body language, subtle facial expressions, and strong feelings. Even though Martini didn't have a lot of screen time, he made the character stand out by making us laugh and feel sorry for him, which is a rare feat for a minor character. Danny's life changed when the movie became a huge hit and won 5 Academy Awards. From a stage player who isn't well known, he made the jump to Hollywood as an actor with a unique style. Danny stood out because he could make small parts into the most important parts of a story. Danny DeVito showed that ability and creativity could get past any problem in a business that often values conventional looks and strict rules. The great success of Danny DeVito. There's no doubt that Danny DeVito went into the entertainment business with a strong will, and he perpetually pursued his goal to become a filmmaker. He went to work every day, he worked hard and kept at it, which helped him go from little-known supporting parts to becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. He has worked as an actor, a director, and a voice actor. Each of these jobs shows off his skill and unique personality. Some of DeVito's first roles were on Broadway in 1969 in shows like Shoot Anything with Hair That Moves and The Man with the Flower in His Mouth. Dreams of Glass, 1970, Lady Liberty, 1971, and Deadly Hero, 1975, were some of his early projects in film. He played Martini in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975, though, and that was the part that really changed his career. Martini, a strange but very moody mental case, fans and reviewers alike were interested in it. It's interesting that DeVito played the same character in the 1971 Broadway version, showing that he could give the part depth and nuance in both settings. In 1978, when he played Louis De Palma on the comedy Taxi, DeVito made the biggest splash of his career. Taking on the role of the short but bossy and crude cab dispatcher, people loved DeVito because he was smart and had great comedy timing. He won both an Emmy and a Golden Globe for the part, making him a well-known and loved face on American TV. As a result of this success, DeVito moved easily into movies and starred in a number of big hits. He showed off his comedy skills in movies like Twins, 1988. In their roles opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger, they made a memorable pair. In Matilda, 1996, based on the book by Roald Dahl, he directed and played Matilda's imperfect father. DeVito also showed how versatile he was in parts like Vernon Dalhart in Terms of Endearment, 1983, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and Ralph in Romancing the Stone, 1984, a fun and loved romantic action movie. Danny DeVito pushed himself by playing the bad guy, Oswald Cobblepot, also known as the Penguin, in Tim Burton's Batman Returns in 1992. People didn't like the character because of how gross they looked and how evil they were, but DeVito gave the Penguin depth and charm, making it one of the most famous parts of his career. He played the part with a lot of sharpness and bravery, which helped the character rise above critics and become a superhero icon. DeVito is very good at more than just playing. He also showed how great he was as a director. He directed his first movie, the dark comedy Throw Mama from the Train, in 1987. He also acted in it. With The War of the Roses, 1989, the success kept going, a movie with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner that looks at how complicated marriage can be. These projects showed off DeVito's unique way of telling stories, which mixes fun with deep life lessons. DeVito really made a name for himself in voice acting as well as acting and directing. He used his unique gravelly voice to play Phil, the talkative personal trainer in Disney's Hercules in 1997. DeVito gave Phil a lot of fun and emotional depth, which made the character a beloved classic for many years. He continued to do well as a voice actor when he played the title character in The Lorax, 2012. He even performed the character in German and Italian. DeVito's status as a respected voice actor was cemented by his hard work and creativity, but there were problems along the way to success. In 2006, DeVito got in trouble for an appearance on The View, in which he looked like he was drunk during the recording. Even though his behavior during the interview made it awkward, most people found it funny and true to his fun-loving nature. There were also reports about DeVito's behavior on set that sometimes got people's attention. Some of his co-workers said that his playful attitude could be annoying at times, but famous co-stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Douglas stood up for him and said DeVito was funny and professional. It's also known that DeVito speaks out about social and political problems. His honest posts on social media sometimes caused a stir, especially when he spoke out against government policies and leaders. Even though some of what he said online led to heated arguments, DeVito stuck to what he thought.